Can't Hardly Wait was a 1998 coming-of-age film about the very last evening of high school seniors right after they graduated, and one of the students held a house party in which everybody, including the nerds, were invited, and it's about an hour and 35 minute of a runtime, and it stars a wide range of cast for characters, mainly being Jennifer Love Hewitt, Ethan Embry, and other various actors such as Seth Green. So the good things about Can't Hardly Wait is it actually has good direction. For a party film, I can honestly say this is actually helmed quite well. They flow through the interweavings of the inner storylines very well, in my opinion. They definitely give each character and each actor and actress their 15 minutes of fame. I think it's a very well-balanced, well-made film. The acting within the direction is passable. It's nothing that'll jump out at you, but it's not terrible by any means. It's passable. Within the story, there are some uniquely well-written scenes that are a bit more original than you would realize or even predict, mainly being whenever they have certain characters team up with various other characters, and you don't really see that kind of team up much elsewhere. So the actors and actresses, with what they're given, they do a good job, and they team up with different various characters, and it's a passable story for the most part within these guidelines. Every main character, whether it's a good or bad character, whether it's a good or bad scene for them, like I said, they're given their 15 minutes of fame, they shine. Every actor and actress goes through these motions. I think it is very well done. This goes along with some good written scenes, along with good direction. Ultimately, though, that's about where my praise for Can't Hardly Wait ends. The negatives I have for this, and there aren't that many, but the ones that I have for critiquing this film, they're pretty bad. The biggest problem I have with Can't Hardly Wait are the stereotyped characters. So as I said, it's a film involving one evening after graduation where every single senior student is invited to one person's house party, and it's nothing revolutionary within character work. Each character is just very stereotyped, very generically written. You got the nerds being nerds, you got the jocks being jocks, you've got the normies being normal, shy, outgoing, introverted, everything. Each character has one trait. If you look at a character and you say nerd, or you look at that character and you say jock, or you look at that character and say prissy cheerleader, that's literally all they are. And that's really my biggest gripe with Can't Hardly Wait. Other gripes: some weak stories end up unconvincing. The main story involved around Preston trying to go after Jennifer Love Hewitt's character because she was the prom queen and she always was with the main popular jock, Mike. And it revolves around 4 years ago. Preston felt like he had a moment with her character when she first got and arrived to the school. They didn't really even talk. He just kind of dropped things. She walked past, and then later that day he sat beside her in class, but they never really spoke. So the main story revolved around Can't Hardly Wait is Preston, who has been just kind of glorifying those times for 4 years straight, and it's supposed to be convincing to where he has always been in love with her, and he's destined to be with her, and she is meant to be with him. But honestly, that's the most hollow part of this film for its story. I thought Preston's main storyline, trying to get with her, how it was done was fine. I appreciated the plot devices, the envelope, I appreciated the house party, the get together. I appreciate everything revolving around the main storyline. I just didn't like the main storyline itself. I thought that Preston's storyline was probably the weakest storyline in the entire film. My last negative for Can't Hardly Wait is not much character development by the end. So by the end of Can't Hardly Wait, they mix in the team up still, they continue them. They add in and continue like built up relationships, pre-existing relationships, new ongoing relationships. But for one ongoing continued piece of character development, they have another piece of character development where there essentially isn't any in the end. Main gripe, spoiler alert, main gripe for me would be Mike's storyline by the end. The most popular jock, his storyline didn't really go anywhere by the end. About 3/4 of the way through the film, yeah, his character actually started developing some signs of change and some signs of learning to move on and coping with the actual realities of life. But then by the very end, in the epilogue, they kind of 180 it, and his character just kind of goes right back to exactly the asshole character that he was always hyped up to be throughout the entire film. And it's not just him, it's all of his friends around him. So at the beginning of Can't Hardly Wait, he broke up with his girlfriend, which was Jennifer Love Hewitt's character, and he and his jock friends vowed with each other and made a promise that they would all break up with their girlfriends. That way they would have the summer and the ongoing college to, hang out together and get with other girls. Well, by the end of this film, Mike was left single, and the other jock friends of his, they still had their relationships, but they all just kind of still stayed together despite breaking the ultimate promise of their storylines throughout the film. There are other main characters who got together and other main characters who kind of almost paid the piper criminally for things that they did that night. And that's good because it showed some character development fleshed out throughout most of the cast. I appreciated most of the end and the epilogue. I appreciated that they did cap off all of the characters' storylines with an epilogue showing where they ended up and showing how their life ended. And I appreciated the direction, the storytelling of the whole film in general, with it being starting right at the end of the last school day when they graduated, leading down to the next morning. I appreciated that storytelling. Throughout, that timeline was mostly good, but also a lot of it felt very, very hollow. And it has to do with very poor story writing. The character writing, the story writing, very hollow. This is not a bad film. Can't Hardly Wait is not a bad film. It's not the likes of Superbad, Get Him to the Greek, Forgetting Sarah Marshall, even Project X. At least Project X was fun, although it had the same issues and flaws as Can't Hardly Wait. But Can't Hardly Wait is basically a good film with a very hollow story. So all in all, Can't Hardly Wait for me is a 6 out of 10. Thank you.